There are over 400 Pokemon to choose from, and I'm gonna limit myself to only less than 50. Johto here is only going to use Pokemon that is strictly from Gen 2. This means no Kanto Pokemon will be used. There is more to this challenge though. This game will be played in set mode, only Johto Pokemon can be used, but I will be able to catch other Gen types as long as I evolve them immediately and don't use them for major battles. No items in battle, no over leveling as much as I can control. The objective of this run is to beat Team Star, the Titans, Victory Road, and the AI Professor in Area 0, all while only using the limited number of Pokemon at my disposal. We make our way out of the house, being followed by Pokemon not from Gen 2, so they are ignored. We pick the Fire Starter and beat Nemona, and can transfer in Cyndaquil, our only starter that we can choose. I wanted for Alligator, but the DLC hasn't come out just yet. I wasn't able to nickname Cyndaquil because it is a special event one, I guess. And Johto is forced to try and catch a Lechonk, but it was defeated instead because gross. Some story passed by, and we meet Arven, my boy. We beat down his little squirrel and catch our first Pokemon, Azurill. We nickname Pokemojo, who is Gen 3, but we start walking around to build that friendship ASAP for that Marill, who is Gen 2. Which, by the way, I nicknamed my Pokemon after subscribers, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. Cyndaquil learns its first fire move, Ember, and we take on Nemona and win. Screw the school stuff, and we hop onto Miraidon and do a little shopping. A Charcoal which boosts fire moves, and a Soothe Bell to help build Pokemojo's friendship with. I train a little bit and evolve Cyndaquil into Kulava for that little extra bit of power. And I put Pokemojo into the box and take on Katie with a level cap of 15. Kulava takes out Nimble with 1 hit, and Tarantula with 1 hit as well. Teddiursa took 2 hits, but not a problem. Gym complete, and the level cap is now 17. The next team member is caught being a Mareep and named Wild Wolf. A little bit of love later, and Pokemojo evolves into a Marill and can now be used. Unfortunately, I didn't even think about it, and the Marill has the ability Thick Fat instead of huge power, which really nerfs the potential, but yeah well. I had Mareep leveled to 14 and we took on Cloth. Johto sent out Pokemojo and it was a battle between Vice Grip and Bubble Beam. And Pokemojo nearly lost, but the first part was completed. Arven joins the second part and Pokemojo uses Charm to drop the attack down by 2 stages. Then Shellder and Pokemojo pelted down with water moves until victory was achieved. We head to Artisan, and during the gym test, Wild Wolf evolves into a Flaffy. Not great against grass types, but always welcome in evolution. Johto takes on Brassius, and Kulava terras instantly and takes out Petlil with 1 hit as well as Smoliv with no problems. Sudowoodo was taken out in 2 hits, gaining the badge and increasing the level cap to 20. Johto went on a stroll to obtain Thunderbolt for the next Titan, Bombirdier. Wild Wolf was struck down to 13 HP, but took out the first part with Thunderbolts. The second part, Wild Wolf was hit with Torment, which makes the target unable to use 2 of the same moves in succession. Wild Wolf uses Thunder Wave to paralyze and also halves the Titan's speed. Wild Wolf uses Thunderbolt and Nacli uses Rock Throw to drop it to like 10 HP. Wild Wolf, unable to use Thunderbolt again, uses Tackle to finish the Titan. While out heading in the next area, a Mischievous was caught and named Felix, and Pokemojo evolved into an Asmarill. Giacomo of Team Star is next, and the first attempt failed. A Phanpy was caught and named Zerchaos. Johto attempted the fight again and sent out Kulava, who took out the Ponyard with Ember. He sent out the Starmobile next, and Kulava was taken out. Pokemojo is sent out and terra'd into Fairy and used Disarming Voice to take out the vehicle, and the level cap was raised to 25. The next gym is Iono and Levencia, and she uses electric types, and I need the best ground move in the game for this one. In the desert where the ground titan is found, there are 5 trainers here that need to be defeated, and you will be rewarded with Earthquake. Gave that sucker to Zerchaos and made my way to Iono. Johto was stopped by Nemona for a warm-up battle before the gym leader. She sends out Rockruff to start, and Johto sends out Zerchaos. Rockruff goes down to an Earthquake, Pawmi comes out and goes down to an Earthquake, then Floragato comes out and terras, taking down Zerchaos. Wild Wolf is sent out and Thunder Waves, paralyzing Floragato. Wild Wolf was able to get off 2 Thunderbolts before going down to Magical Leaf. You may notice Kulava is missing because he is very close to being overleveled. So Pokemojo is sent out and Floragato was stopped twice by paralyzation. and Pokemojo was able to clean up the fight. Before Iono is taken on, Johto grabbed one more move, Flamethrower, and gave it to Clavell before challenging the Electric Gym Leader. This fight was so close getting to Mismagius but ended up failing. The team needed a little bit of tweaking. We need a little pseudo-legendary on the team, but unfortunately it is only located in Scarlet. So we hop into Scarlet and catch us a Larvitar and named it Jango Fett. Welcome to the team. We gave Jango an Adamant Mint to change its nature and gave Wild Wolf Light Screen, which weakens special attacks. So let's take on Iono again, and she leads with Watch Roll, and Johto brings out Jango Fett. Missing a Rock Slide, he takes a Pluck, but his second Rock Slide takes it out. Bellybolt comes out and takes out Jango with a Water Gun. Wild Wolf comes out and pops a Light Screen to weaken those attacks, and then Johto switches in Xerchaos, who is immune to Spark. Xerchaos was able to take out Bellybolt with Earthquakes. Luxio is next, and Xert almost takes it down with an Earthquake, but was taken out by Bite. Wild Wolf comes in and takes out Luxio with Thunderbolt. Mismagius is out and Terras and takes out Wild Wolf with Hex. Kulava is sent out and is confused by Confuse Ray, but breaks through, and with Flamethrower he is able to get a burn. Another Flamethrower and a burn later, Mismagius goes down, cleaning up the fight and upping the level cap to 26. Johto wastes no time and bolts straight to Mela. She sends out Torkoal, and Pokemojo comes out and sets up Rain Dance to counter that drought. Torkoal goes down to Surf, and Revavroom comes out and takes a Surf. The vehicle uses Blazing Torque and it does a whopping 3 damage. It later went down to Surf, finishing up the fight and raising the level cap to 30. Steel Titan time. The first part, Pokemojo tries to take it down but is dropped, and Kulava comes in and picks up the win. And part 2, Flamethrower one-shots the creature. Easy peasy. For the Water Gym, we're going to need a little more help. Johto catches a Sunkern and names it Volcra, evolves it into Sunflora, and now it's Kofu time. He sends out a Veluza and Volcra comes out. Completely forgetting Veluza has Pluck, Volcra uses Leech Seed and then goes down to the Pluck. Wild Wolf comes out and takes down Veluza and Wugtrio. The Ace comes out and Crab hammers Wild Wolf but is paralyzed due to static. Kulava is sent in to weaken up the Crabominable and gets off a couple Flamethrowers but goes down to Crab Hammer. Pokemojo comes out and cleans up by taking hits but ends up winning the fight and upping the level cap to 32. During some leveling for Atticus, Xerchaos evolves into Donphan and then challenges the Poison Team Star member. He leads with Skuntank and Jango Fett is sent out. Jango takes a Sucker Punch, nearly KOing and delivers a Stomping Tantrum. Jango stops the next Sucker Punch because of Scary Face and lowers the speed, ultimately going down to Sucker Punch. Kulava is sent out and Flamethrowers getting the burn. He is poisoned due to Toxic but takes out the Skuntank with a quick attack. Revavroom is next and hits Kulava with Bulldoze, nearly taking him out, and nearly survives a Flamethrower, but Kulava goes down to a poison. Felix is sent out and takes an Assurance, surviving on 4 HP, then delivers a Confusion, taking out Revavroom. Muck is sent out and Felix uses Confuse Ray to try and survive an extra turn, which doesn't work, and Felix goes down to a Sludge Wave. Wild Wolf is sent out and takes a Sludge Wave before dealing a Thunderbolt that ends up paralyzing. He puts up a Light Screen and survives one more Sludge Wave. One Thunderbolt later, and Wild Wolf goes down to the final Sludge Wave. Pokemojo comes out for a quick Surf before going down to Sludge Wave. Now the secret weapon comes out, Xerchaos, who Terras and Earthquakes, taking down Muck. Revavroom comes out and Xerchaos was able to take it down with 3 Earthquakes, ending the fight, and now the level cap is 36. While prepping for the next gym fight, Jango Fett evolved into Pupitar, and Wild Wolf evolved into Ampharos, beefing up the team that much more. Now it's time for Larry. He leads with Komala, who tries to slam Xerchaos but it missed, and retaliates with an Earthquake. Komala used Yawn, and Xerchaos finishes it off with another Earthquake. Xerchaos is switched out to avoid sleep with Felix, who cannot be hit with Hyper Drill because of the Ghost typing. The Dunsparce cannot hit Felix with any attack, so it keeps using Glare, which paralyzes. So Felix just Psybeams until victory. Staraptor comes out in Terras and hits Felix with an Aerial Ace, and Felix uses Growl to drop Staraptor's attack. Felix then goes down to Aerial Ace, and Wild Wolf comes out and takes a Facade, then uses Thunder Wave, paralyzing Staraptor. Wild Wolf uses Thunderbolt for a little chunk of damage, and Staraptor was paralyzed and couldn't move. Wild Wolf hits one more time before being taken out by another Facade. Kulava comes out and cleans up with a final flamethrower, winning the badge and raising the level cap to 42. Nemona challenges Johto to a fight right after the gym, and she leads with Lycanroc, and Chaos is sent out. Lycanroc bites, probably hoping for the flinch, but Chaos takes out Lycanroc with an Earthquake. Gumi is next, who falls to an Earthquake. Then Pamo, who is another victim to Earthquake. And then Meowscarada is sent out, and Kulava is switched out and tinks a Flower Trick, nearly being KO'd. Kulava gets hit with Slash and uses Flamethrower, nearly taking the cat out. Johto had Kulava use Quick Attack to pick up the KO, but Meowscarada outsped with her own Quick Attack, taking out Kulava. Felix is sent out, only to go down to Flower Trick, and so did Wild Wolf, and Jango Fett, and Chaos. Well, it's down to Pokemojo, who is unfortunately weak to Grass. But Meowscarada uses Slash? She must have ran out of PP, and Pokemojo uses Play Rough, finishing up the fight. Johto goes out to train a bit before the next gym, and Kulava evolves into Typhlosion, our bargain store Charizard without the flying typing. All Pokemon have hit level 40, and the homeroom teacher gives the lucky egg after all that. Oops, kinda forgot about that one. Time for Ryme, who does double battles. She sends out Banette and Mimikyu, and Johto sends out Chaos and Felix. Mimikyu uses Shadow Sneak on Felix, dealing more than half HP, and Banette Sucker Punch Felix, being taken down, ruining my plan for earthquaking everything again. Chaos uses Earthquake and nearly takes out Banette and breaks Mimikyu's disguise, and then Pokemojo is sent out. Banette uses Icy Wind, doing okay damage to the two, but dropping their speed. Pokemojo uses Play Rough on Mimikyu, getting a crit, doing decent damage. Chaos takes out the two with an Earthquake, doing the same damage to Pokemojo. Next up, it's Toxtricity and Houndstone. Toxtricity tears to Ghost and uses Discharge, not affecting Chaos, but takes out Pokemojo and paralyzes Houndstone. Chaos Earthquakes, nearly finishing off Houndstone and dealing more than half to Toxtricity, and Houndstone uses Phantom Force, disappearing from the field. Jango Fett is sent out, and Toxtricity uses Hyper Voice and hits both Pokemon, nearly taking out Chaos. Jango uses Earthquake, almost finishing off Toxtricity and unfortunately taking out Chaos. Jango Fett is taken out by Houndstone's Phantom Force. Now it is up to Wild Wolf and Typhlosion. Toxtricity uses Hyper Voice and hits both Pokemon for decent damage. Typhlosion uses Flamethrower and takes out Toxtricity, and Thunderbolt takes out Houndstone, finishing up the badge and raising the level cap to 45. Time for the Ground Titan, and Pokemojo leads and takes an Iron Head and flinches. The Titan rapid spins for a speed boost, and Pokemojo uses Charm, dropping its attack. Poke tanks another Iron Head and hits with a powerful Surf, dealing more than half. But Pokemojo is unfortunately taken down by Iron Head, so Chaos comes out and finishes up with Earthquake. For part 2, Chaos leads and tears for a boosted Earthquake, taking out Clavell and dealing decent damage to the Titan. Chaos takes a stomping tantrum and deals another Earthquake. One final Earthquake and the Titan goes down. Nemona challenges once again, and yeah, that wasn't anything special. Time for Tulip, who leads with Farigiraf, and Johto sends out Jango Fett. Jango Fett was unfortunately taken out, and Wild Wolf is next. Farigiraf is taken out by Thunderbolt, and Gardevoir is sent out. Wild Wolf tanks a Psychic and uses Thunder Wave to paralyze. Wild Wolf was able to take out Gardevoir because she keeps getting paralyzed and unable to attack. Espathra is out next and was paralyzed by Thunder Wave as well. Wild Wolf tanks a Quick Attack because love mechanics. Chaos is switched in and Earthquakes Espathra until fainted. Florges comes out and takes 2 Earthquakes from Chaos before going down, winning the badge and upping the level cap to 48. The final gym leader, Grusha, is absolutely destroyed by Typhlosion. They did not stand a chance, and now the level cap is 50. Ortega is the next Team Star member, and he leads with a Azumarill. Chaos takes an Aqua Tail and deals back an Earthquake. Chaos faints to a Play Rough, and Wild Wolf is next. A Thunderbolt takes out Azumarill and is replaced by Wigglytuff. Wild Wolf uses Thunderbolt, and Wigglytuff uses Play Rough and is paralyzed because of static. 2 more Thunderbolts later, and Wigglytuff falls. Dash Bun is next and takes out Wild Wolf with Play Rough. Felix is sent out and uses Shadow Ball, not dealing that much damage. After tanking a Crunch, Felix sends out another Shadow Ball before being taken out. Jango Fett is sent out and puts up Sandstorm, and then tanks a Play Rough because dumb love mechanics, and takes out Dash Bun with Earthquake. Jango Fett goes down and Pokemojo comes out. After tanking a Magical Torque, Poke charms down the vehicle's attack. Poke uses another charm and tanks a magical torque for one more charm. Pokemojo eventually is taken down and Typhlosion comes out and finishes up the fight with 2 flamethrowers, raising the level cap to 56. Now for the False Dragon Titan. Pokemojo leads and doesn't deal much damage and is switched out for Wild Wolf. 2 Thunderbolts later and part 1 is complete. For part 2, Wild Wolf leads this time and goes for a Thunder Wave, paralyzing the Titan. A few Thunderbolts later and the Titan goes down. Next up is Tatsugiri, and Wild Wolf paralyzes the Sushi and sets up Light Screen. Wild Wolf is switched out for Pokemojo, who is able to take down the final Titan. The final Team Star battle against Aerie is next. She leads with Toxicroak, and Johto leads with Pokemojo. For getting Poison hurt Fairy, Xerchaos is sent out instead, tanking a Poison Jab. Xerchaos uses Earthquake, taking out Toxicroak. Passimian is sent out and takes out Xerchaos with Close Combat. Pokemojo is sent back out and takes out Passimian with Play Rough. Annihilate comes out and Fire Punches Pokemojo, getting the burn and weakening the attack stat. A Play Rough doesn't do too much damage, and a Rage Fist ends up taking out Pokemojo, and Jango Fett is sent out only to be taken out by Close Combat. Wild Wolf is sent out and takes a Close Combat and is able to get off a Thunder Wave. Annihilate tanks a Thunderbolt but ends up taking out Wild Wolf. Volukra is sent out and takes out Annihilate thanks to Paralysis. And Lucario is next and hits Volukra with Aura Sphere, and Volukra uses Leech Seed. Volukra survived another hit due to freaking love mechanics and was able to set up Sunny Day. Volukra goes down next turn and Typhlosion is up next. A Terra Flamethrower takes out Lucario and 2 Flamethrowers takes out the Starmobile, ending the fight and raising the cap to 61. On the way to the Elite Four, Jango Fett evolves to Tyranitar and it's time to face Rika, who starts with Whiscash. Johto sends out Volukra and dodges a Blizzard, dealing a devastating Giga Drain in return. Next up is Camerupt, and that is a red flag for Volukra. We take him out for Pokemojo, who tanks a Fire Blast and is dealt a 4x weak Surf, taking out Camerupt. Donphan is next, who tanks a Surf and uses Poison Jab, almost taking out Pokemojo. One more Surf and Donphan goes down. Dugtrio comes out and sets up a Sandstorm, and Pokemojo uses Surf, almost taking him out. Pokemojo survives an Earthquake at 2 HP and uses Surf to take out Dugtrio but goes down to the Sandstorm. Clodsire is sent out and Johto sends out Volukra again. Both Pokemon Terra and Volukra attacks with Giga Drain and tanks an Earthquake. Clodsire then goes down to Giga Drain, ending the encounter. Next is Poppy. I'll spare you by saying Typhlosion absolutely dominated this team just like Grusha. Good ol' Larry is back with a flying type team leading with Tropius, and Johto leads with Jango Fett. One hit with Ice Fang and Tropius goes down. Staraptor is sent out and Intimidate drops Jango's attack and takes him out with a 4x weakness Close Combat. Wild Wolf comes out and Terra Thunderbolts and takes out Staraptor. Out next is Altaria, who attacks Wild Wolf with Dragon Pulse, doing decent damage, and Wild Wolf uses Power Gem, almost doing half HP. Wild Wolf then goes down to Dragon Pulse and Xerchaos is sent out for Rollout, and Ice Beam does over a half HP. First turn Rollout doesn't do much damage and Chaos takes another Ice Beam, but yeah, he's screwed. Typhlosion is sent out and takes out Altaria with a Flamethrower. Oricorio comes out only to go down to a crit Flamethrower. Then Flamigo comes out and Terras and tinks a Flamethrower, then deals a Close Combat, nearly taking out Typhlosion. But one more Flamethrower and Larry is finished. Now it's Hassel time. He leads with Noivern and Johto leads with Jango Fett. He tanks a Super Fang and knocks out Noivern with an Ice Fang. Next up is Dragalge, who gets hit with an Ice Fang and Poison Point unfortunately poisons Jango and is hit with a Hydro Pump. After another Ice Fang, Dragalge goes down and Jango goes down to poison damage. Pokemojo comes out and Haxorus is sent out. Pokemojo went to use Charm, but Ironhead causes a flinch. He tries again and gets the Charm off, and then Pokemojo is switched out for Typhlosion. After 3 Flamethrowers, Haxorus goes down. Flapple is next and goes down to 2 Flamethrowers. Baxcalibur comes out and Typhlosion is sent back for Pokemojo, who isn't affected by the Glaive Rush. So we got a free switch. Pokemojo tanks a Brick Break and uses Charm to drop the attack. Pokemojo proceeds to Charm 2 more times before being taken out. Then Wild Wolf comes out and takes a Glaive Rush thanks to the 6x attack drop and use Thunder Wave. Then 4 Thunderbolts later and Baxcalibur goes down, winning the fight. Geeta the champion is next. She leads with a Spothra who goes down to Crunch, and then Avalugg comes out and takes out Jenga with a body press. Typhlosion is sent out and takes out Avalugg with Flamethrower, and then King Gambit is out next and is taken out with a Flamethrower as well. Veluza is sent out and Typhlosion is switched out with Wild Wolf who goes down to Liquidation. Volukra is sent out and is hit with Ice Fang but heals enough with Giga Drain to take out Veluza. Go-Goat comes out and takes out Volukra with Play Rough, and then Typhlosion is sent out to take out Go-Goat with a Flamethrower. Typhlosion is switched out for Pokemojo who takes a Stone Edge but goes down to Sludge Wave. And then Zerchaos is sent out and Terras for an Earthquake who finishes off the fight. Now it's time for Arven. He sends out Greedent, and Johto sends out Jingle Fett. Greedent goes down to a Stone Edge and a Crunch. Garganacl is sent out, and Pokemojo is switched in, taking a Body Press. Pokemojo uses Surf, and it does roughly 1/4 damage. A Charm is used before being taken out, and Volukra comes out and takes a Body Press before doing massive damage with Giga Drain. One more Giga Drain and Garganacl goes down. Scovillain takes down Jango Fett and Zerchaos before being taken down by Typhlosion's Terra Flamethrower. Toadscroll goes down to Flamethrower, and Volukra is switched in from Typhlosion, tanking a Liquidation but is then taken out by an Icicle Spear. Wild Wolf takes down Cloyster with a Thunderbolt but is damaged greatly by a Crunch from Mabostiff. Wild Wolf is able to get off a Thunder Wave before being taken down, and Typhlosion coming in to pick up the win. Clavell is next on this entourage of fights. He leads with a Oranguru, and Jango Fett is sent out. Oranguru starts with a Yawn and drops to a Crunch. Abomasnow comes out, and Jango Fett switches to Typhlosion and takes out Abomasnow with a Flamethrower. Houndoom is sent out, and Typhlosion is switched out back to Jango Fett. Tanking a couple hits, Jango tears apart Houndoom with a nasty Stone Edge, causing Amoonguss to be sent out. Typhlosion is switched in and dodged an attack because love mechanics, and takes down Amoonguss with Flamethrower. Poltegeist is out and goes down to 2 Flamethrowers. Quaquaval, the final Pokemon, is sent out, and Typhlosion is switched out for Volukra, who tanks an Aqua Step. Volukra tanks an Ice Spinner because love mechanics, and is able to get up a Sunny Day to weaken Aqua Step. Ice Spinner takes out Volukra, and Wild Wolf is sent out. He gets off a Thunder Wave and a Thunderbolt and was able to survive an Aqua Step because love mechanics, and finish the fight with a final Thunderbolt. Penny is just Penny. Umbreon goes down to Jango Fett, Vaporeon to Volukra, Flareon to Pokemojo, Jolteon to Zerchaos, Leafeon to Typhlosion, Sylveon to Zerchaos. Super easy fight. The final Nemona fight is what is between Johto and the Professor, so let's do this. She leads with Lycanroc, and Pokemojo comes out. Lycanroc goes down to a couple Surfs, and Pawmot is next, and Pokemojo switched out for Zerchaos, so Double Shock doesn't hit. One Earthquake later, and Pawmot is down. Goodra comes out, and Muddy Waters Chaos, who survives because love mechanics, and gets off an Earthquake before going down next turn. Pokemojo comes out taking an Ice Beam and finishes off Goodra. The Dunsparce is sent out and gets hit with a Charm, but he ends up taking out Pokemojo with a Hyper Drill. Jango Fett comes out and takes out the Dunsparce with a few crunches. Orthworm is sent out and takes out Jango Fett with a Body Press, causing Typhlosion to come out and take him out with a Flamethrower. Masquerada comes out, only to be taken out by a Terra Flamethrower, sealing the fight. Heading to Area 0 to finish this run, where we've had some easy moments and some a little more tough, but we made it with a great team, and now it's time to finish this. Turo sends out Iron Moth, and Johto sends out Zerchaos, who tanks a Fiery Dance and sends off an Earthquake, taking down Iron Moth. Iron Bundle is next, and Volukra is exchanged, tanking a Freeze Dry and going down to another one. Wild Wolf is sent out, and Iron Bundle is taken out with a Thunderbolt. Wild Wolf is traded out for Jango Fett, who ends up going down to Brick Break. Zerchaos comes back out and tanks an Earthquake, but dealing back a 4x weakness Earthquake. Iron Jugulus comes out taking out Zerchaos, and Wild Wolf comes out, and a Thunderbolt and a Power Gem takes out Iron Jugulus. Iron Hands is next, and Wild Wolf comes back for Pokemojo, who uses Charm and starts lowering the attack. Pokemojo got 2 Play Roughs off before being taken down, and Typhlosion comes out and Terras for a Flamethrower, taking out Iron Hands. The final Pokemon, Iron Valiant, comes out. The only plan I had for this is to switch in Wild Wolf and hope static procs. So here comes Wild Wolf, and he takes a Brick Break, and the static goes off. Typhlosion comes back out and takes out Iron Valiant with a Terra-boosted Flamethrower, sealing the run. It's crazy how different this run went than my Kanto-only run, which can be found here. And also, we aren't going to talk about this and say we beat Pokemon Violet with only Johto Pokemon, because love mechanics.